when
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Moo-B-Q, featuring Gunsnbbq, also featuring 2 Live Moo, as well as anybody else we decide to invite on the chat. Please like and subscribe. Now let's make you hungry.
Good evening. Welcome back to Moo-B-Q. This is episode number 26. Sorry, TPC, I had already hit the live button when you finally unmuted there.
Yeah, that's all right.
I feel like a dick because all of a sudden you start talking. I was like, ah, crap.
Now it's like I'm on the edge of my seat with the jokes, or is that for
yeah?
Live?
Oh no, they went along with the pumpkin carving and.
Oh
So,
man!
if I had your phone number, I would text you the photos that I just text Moo.
Oh.
And say if you want, you put it over in the side chat.
Seeing as we're live, I'll email it to you.
Sounds good.
Afterwards. Last thing I want to do is get a whole bunch of nasty texts from people who don't like me. So.
Oh, the best part is we'll just be like, so if you have any complaints, please send them to Yankee Marshall and then put your number.
Yeah, Yankee Marshall, Clover Tag.
They'll be like, somebody. I hate that guy. And then boom, TPC's phone's just getting blown up. He's like, what the frick's going on here?
Yeah, so what's happening, guys?
Not much. So,
cleaning up after the kids.
Nice.
I just got done doing that myself. I got the kids are home for the weekend with their significant other. So my son and his wife and my daughter and her boyfriend came over and we had a big old barbecue today.
Jeez, kind of cold for that, wasn't it?
Not too bad. I mean, it was a little windy. I was worried about because I put some wings on the smoker, and I had to go out and check, but it maintained 250, 275 for a couple hours anyway, so it was all right.
Oh, speaking of which, if you know a butcher near you, see if you can get some pig wings.
Pig wings?
Pig wings.
Oh. Were they the lower leg or something?
Yeah, they're this little part of the leg. I'm not exactly sure what they are, but they got a whole lot of meat and just a little skinny bone in them.
Oh, yeah?
Really?
They're really good.
Pig wings. Google.
But it seems the only way you can get them is if you know a butcher.
Says I can buy fully cooked ones on eBay. Well, yeah. Well, that's got me intrigued. It looks awesome.
Yeah, about 3 hours on smoke and a nice light glazing of sauce if you have a good rub, which I know you have 4 bottles of really good rub. So
down to about 2.5.
Yeah, whoops.
Oh, the chicken pig went fast.
Yeah, a lot of people like that. I sold almost 60 pounds of that this year. So,
dude, I did split chicken breast with it earlier this week, and I think I was telling barbecue. I'm like, I don't know if you have any of his rubs, but that chicken pig is freaking delicious.
Nope, I offered to send him some a long time ago, and he didn't want it. So,
whoa, when did I say that? I don't like to ask for stuff. I always feel like a moocher if I do that.
I sent you my email and everything. I said be more than happy to send you some.
It's worth mooching for.
Did you?
You said you'd get back to me, never did.
Son of a bitch.
Well, I know that you said, because we're alive, and you offered to give some away, and I was like, that's very generous, because, again, I just feel like a moocher, but...
Oh, no, this was when I first met you, and it was like Gizzard Gary's chat or Clover's chat.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, this was like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I say, so, if you pay attention to my shows here at TPC, you should realize what happened we were in a chat or something. So I was like, oh, heck yeah, I need to check that out. Got, busy paying attention to the show, completely forgot. And honest to God, I guarantee that's what it was.
And you're still a kid and you've got a memory like me. That's horrible.
Ooh, that's true.
And say, I really need to make a list of, like, if I'm doing something, I just need to keep a small notebook on me at all times. And whenever something pops in my head, oh, I need to do this or that, make a little note of it. That way I can go back and look at the notebook later and be like, oh, you said to do this. Because, I mean, case in point, I tell this story all the time. Become a patron of G-Webs. Took me 2 years. Because, like, when somebody would be like, oh, hey, go check this person out on Patreon and do this. And, they're at the beginning of a chat. I'm like, oh, yeah, I want to go become a patron of G-Webs. And then I watch a chat, or, something would happen with the kids and be messing with them. And just completely forget that that's on my to-do list or, bucket list, whatever you want to call it. And finally, 2 years later, I got around to it. So, yeah. No, I say I'd be more than willing to try your rubs. I mean, heck, I'd friggin' buy them off you. I say, like I said, because I don't like to ask people to send me stuff unless it's like Grill Blazer and I'm trying to get one of those super awesome grill guns. Then I will gladly email them and be like, hey, you need people to review that? Which they replied to me, and then they're supposed to check stuff out and get back to me, and they never got back after that. It's like, you dicks.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for one from, I believe it's Sear Pro.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be sent to me like 2 months ago, and I still haven't seen it. So.
Yeah.
That flamethrower is freaking awesome.
I know. I don't want to spend $160 on it, but at the same time, I'm like, really?
I'm at the point now. I'm about to buy one of those. One of the weed ones.
Yep.
They cost
I've got
about
one of those.
$39, and
Yep, you can get them with the short handle too.
See, I don't have one with a short handle. I wish I did.
I got the long one that so you have to bend down to burn weeds. I was gonna use that, and then I'm like, but this other one's so cool.
The short ones would be great for starting the big smoker.
Yeah.
But then the grill gun, I saw that, and it's got a little stand where you can just angle it and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's freaking tits. I was like, I so need that, because it looks like with the way it would angle, it would hit the firebox on my trailer smoker perfectly.
Oh, and
I'd never have to hold it.
Yeah.
I'm
it
like,
it doesn't take that long. I think it burns at 2,400 degrees or something.
Yeah, I say the BTUs that it pumps out are incredible for such a small device.
And it's loud.
Mm-hmm.
It's loud. It's a lot of fun. I think it's overpriced for what you get, but I mean, the fun factor is worth it for me. I guess so. I fire it up and the dog goes crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, did a tri-tip sous vide today, and then hit it with the flamethrower. Give it a little sear.
Looked incredible, dude. Like, holy cow.
Yeah, it was a big hit.
I'll tell you what, Moo.
Yeah.
You should do a tri-tip brisket style.
Oh yeah.
Long cook, long rest. Oh my God.
Maybe I'll do that next. This is actually, believe it or not, it was my first tri-tip I ever did.
Really?
Yeah, and I got it for when I went up to see my dad over Labor Day. And then when I got there, all the family called my dad and said that, well, one was exposed to COVID. They didn't want to bring it up to infect my dad. So that family stayed home. And then my brother's family, they just no-showed. So it was just me and my dad, and I had a tri-tip, a pork shoulder, 2 New York strips, 1.5 inch thick.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, I had a cooler full of stuff. And so when I got there, I had to throw a bunch of stuff in the freezer. So I brought most of it home. Well, I take that back. I mean, Oh, I had a bunch of fish. I had some smoked salmon. I had some ocean fish. I had some hogfish, some yellowtail snapper. But yeah, the only thing we ate was the pork butt and the New York strips.
There you go.
Yep. But yeah, so I did 10 pounds of smoked wings and then did that tri-tip. Then we had Brussels sprouts with bacon and
Yes.
Parmesan. And,
Yes.
of course, mashed potatoes, salad. Rob will be happy that there was a salad that didn't get touched.
I had a salad yesterday. Got it from Wendy's.
And of course, I'm on my diet plan, so I had 2 little slices of tri-tip and about 3 chicken wings and some Brussels.
So
Wow, that hurts.
Yeah, watching those mashed potatoes go down, I'm like, wow, look at that. And then, and my wife, she makes killer homemade chocolate chip cookies from scratch and from memory, and they're my favorite. And I'm sitting there sipping on a coffee this afternoon, and she's bringing these freshly baked chocolate chip cookies out for the crowd, and I'm like, I gotta go downstairs.
So we got some people out there, as we would hope, but just a quick roll call. Like we have the Misfits, Darling, Gizzard Gary, Ozzy Osbourne, Only June, the Men of Tupperware, To Love Moo, of course. Who else did I see? I'm going off of memory here, folks. Mad Sexy, and
Only June.
Yep.
Did you say T-Mont?
Yep.
New York.
Oh, New York Outcast. That's who that's forgetting.
And the lady was out there.
Yeah, he owes me $20.
$20. Gizzard and Kingpin and Ozzy were in early.
Yeah. Oh, Kingpin. That's one I forgot. Kingpin.
Cookies and salad. Yeah, so that's what I've been up to all day.
Sounds like a good day.
Yeah, it was delicious.
I'm gonna say I spent 3 hours going around Walmart alone doing some grocery shopping. The family member that took me isn't feeling the best, so they opted to stay in their car, which was like, whatever.
How do you go around Walmart by yourself?
It takes a while. Just kind of feel around. Like, I've been in there enough, obviously, throughout my entire life, where I got a general idea. Like, once I figure out what aisle I've started down, like, oh, this is cereal aisle, so I'll probably find other breakfast crap or something like that in it, or oh, this is the juice aisle, and if I need Powerade or anything else, I'll find that in there eventually. And I just kind of ping pong ball back and forth between each side.
Yeah, somehow I can hear that happening.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's great because every once in a while, because most of the time I pull the cart, but every once in a while, for some reason, I decide to start pushing it, and then you'll just hear, "God damn it!" and it's me crashing into an end cap
Or somebody's ankle.
I have not hit anybody yet, believe it or not.
You gotta try.
That's gonna happen next time. So, I actually had 2 interactions while at Walmart today, too, because I was open carrying. So, a little excited about sharing those on Almost Nightly Firearms Expo on Tuesday. It's weird. I've been open carrying for 11 years now. And I think in that 11 years, I might have had 1, maybe 2. Interactions ever where somebody's like, hey, nice gun or something like that. Today when I went into Walmart, I went straight to the potatoes because it's like one of the first things when you walk in. Mine is the potatoes, and so I'm looking at potatoes, and a lady approaches me, and then literally when I am walking out, another gentleman approached me. I was like, cool. So that was pretty eventful, but yeah, so would like to welcome everybody to the barbecue chats. You guys have anything topic-wise tonight that you wish to cover?
We're going to talk about restaurant barbecue or something.
Yeah, well, I have the idea of just talking about when you go into a restaurant, a barbecue restaurant per se. I guess it could just be a regular restaurant that has barbecue on the menu as well. But what are some things that you're looking for when you enter that restaurant and when you get your barbecue plated in front of you?
I look for the clientele.
Interesting one. Okay. Let's say you want to elaborate on that one? I like that.
If you go into a barbecue restaurant, pretty much any restaurant, and the clientele is mostly young, trendy people. If you see, a lot of piercings, tattoos, and cartoon colored hair, don't expect much.
You talking
Because
about
these
the
are
back of the house?
What's that?
You talking about the cooks and the servers and everything like that? Or are you talking about
No, I'm talking about the clientele, the people who are actually there eating.
Gotcha.
Because those people are the same people, who have festivals where they eat chocolate covered bugs.
Can't say I've ever tried those.
No, I try and avoid them too, but we actually just had one here. They had I don't think you'd call it a festival, but a gathering of people who were eating, as they called them, natural earthen pleasures.
I smoked a bee once.
Yeah.
It was not on purpose. I had opened.
Usually isn't.
And then I'm pretty sure it turned into cremation, because when I had found him, I was going to check a pork shoulder, and I was like, oh, there's a bee on the grate. I was like, oh, he's crispy. And I was like, we'll leave him there. Whatever. Why the hell not? It's not like he's hurting anything anyways. And so cook's getting towards done, and I was just like, okay, that's enough goofing around with the bee, letting him lay there. And he turned to dust when I tried to move him. So, not only can you smoke a bee in your pellet smoker, you can cremate it too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I find when they have that kind of clientele that not to have very high expectations. Because when you have the trendy young foodies at places, they're not as much about actual flavor, and especially with barbecue, they're more about being there, and it's about the shared experience, and all the other weird stuff they write about. When you go to a barbecue place, and you especially see a lot of middle-aged and older people who have probably had good barbecue in their lives, then you should up your expectations a little bit, because it's more likely there's going to be really good stuff served there. And it's not as much about the people as it is about, the possibility of experience.
Yes.
I'm trying to recall the last time I ever went to a barbecue restaurant. I don't think I've been there to one in many years.
Judging by your picture, it probably wouldn't be a good idea. You'd end up on the menu. So.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
I'm just saying, dino ribs are hard to come by. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like a Famous Dave's back in probably the 90s when when I went to one of those.
Famous Dave's used to have good ribs, so.
It's funny that you mentioned Famous Dave's because I think I told the story before about how I never liked smoked meat before. And that's because a guy that my dad worked with had given us some smoked meat, and it tasted like an ashtray. I don't know what the hell he smoked it with. It was awful. And so from there on out, I was like, I don't like smoked meat. And we had a Famous Dave's in Erie for the longest time. It went out of business several years ago, and a part of me was like, oh man, if I could score some stuff there, but I was not in the financial situation to be able to even try and go bid on anything there when they auction stuff. Now that's for other reasons. X. Excuse me. I had a frog in my throat. But my parents had gone there the one day, and then they brought back a ton of food. They're like, here. And I was like, I don't like smoked meat. They're like, we thought so too, but try this. And I had it. I was like, oh, but it doesn't taste like smoke at all. I was like, this is amazing. Now, knowing what I know now about barbecue, I don't know if I'd call Famous Dave's amazing, but it's still pretty damn good. But I would say that was a big deal, because if it wasn't for having that, I probably would have never even had the urge to be like, oh, I'm going to smoke meat and, make this awesome barbecue. Because I just thought it tasted like crap in the first place because of that first bad experience. So, kudos to Famous Dave's, I guess, because if it wasn't for that.
Famous Dave's had your gateway meat.
Indeed. It's all been downhill since then. Started mainlining barbecue sauce about 6 years ago.
Cooking your own like Heisenberg.
Just can't get enough.
Oh, God.
One guy said, hey, you want some barbecue sauce? Come back, meet me in this alley. You just got to suck it out of a hose. Close your eyes. I was like, okay, this sounds great. It's really salty barbecue sauce. It was awful. Don't do that.
I'll tell you something that's funny. When I was a little kid, we used to have a place called Little Pig's Barbecue here. And the actual first Little Pigs, I want to say it's either in East Tennessee or it's in North Carolina. But I had no idea it was a chain. But they, at one point in time, had like 100 locations. And for some reason, one of them ended up here in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And that really got my interest started, because they really had good stuff.
Nice. We got Feed Dog out there, by the way. Good evening. I don't know if I've ever seen you in the barbecue chat, so that's pretty awesome. Didn't mean to cut you off there, TPC. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So that was your gateway, huh?
Yeah, well, that and I told the story about the grill we got from the Gulf station when I was a kid. Those two things.
Yep.
I was all over it.
So one thing that I look for when I'm going to a barbecue specific restaurant, which it's a lot harder for me to do now, obviously with my vision the way it is, but I want to see some smoke rolling out back when I pull up. And when I see that smoke rolling, I don't want to see a thick, heavy white smoke either. That or I want to see their wood supply. So, depending on where you're at, things like that, you might be able to drive around back or something, and see what they're doing, which is kind of nice because then if they're keeping that wood supply out back, if they got the big cooker out back or something, you can kind of get an idea what they're doing. How's that pile of wood look? How's that smoke look that's rolling out of there? So.
I was just reading the Bearded Butcher's recipe for pig wings.
Those guys are awesome. I really need to get somebody to take me over to Wooster. I still say you, me, and TPC should just meet at Bearded Butcher's. Unfortunately, it is a shorter trip for me than it is you guys, but it seems like a good meeting point.
Where are they at?
Wooster, Ohio. It's like right outside of Mansfield or something.
Aren't those guys who like specialize in doing like game meat?
Their family's butcher shop really started off with bison. I think I could have swore I've seen a couple videos where they've done venison, but I think that was their own kills from when they were hunting. Most
every video I've seen of theirs, they made like hot dogs, they made sausages, stuff like that, and it's always out of game meat.
Yeah, and say all the videos I catch from them are butchering cows. What's the difference between Wagyu, grain-fed, and grass-fed. They will do a lot of videos on different types of ribs. Like the one thing I do like is comparing the different cuts and things like that. They talk about why they do something the way they do. But one of the things that they are big for is their dry aged meat. They do a lot of dry aging there, which that's actually pretty cool too, because with what they do, they show the whole process on how they do it. This one's dry aged, this one's not. This one's dry aged, again, grass fed or grain fed. Et cetera, et cetera. And they really show the differences. It's pretty cool. So we got Gizzard Gary joining us now. How are you, sir?
Gizzard.
Speaking of dry age.
I thought you were irradiated.
Yeah. I'm doing good, thanks. How are you? Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought you would be a perfect person to join in on this topic tonight, being from Kansas, so close to the home of burnt ends. What are some things when you're pulling up to a barbecue restaurant? Because up here in the Northeast, we don't have that many. Well, I shouldn't say that. I've got plenty in my area now, and I'm not too impressed by majority of them. Granted, I've only had a handful or so, and I probably have another handful or more to try now. But they're not like the barbecue restaurants that we would find down in Kansas per se. So having some of those big ones down in Kansas, especially Kansas City, what are some things you're looking for, Gizzard?
First thing you're looking for is a full parking lot. Second thing you're looking for is a line, because you're going to have that too. And the third thing you're looking for is fat people, because them's the people who eats the barbecue. If it's a bunch of yuppies in there with their suits and stuff like that, they ain't eating real barbecue, because they're going to get food on their outfits if they're eating real Kansas City barbecue. That's just the way that works. So
I understand the suit thing, but having been 415 pounds at one point in my life, and knowing how my palate was and how my palate is now, there was a day where I just ate anything and everything. Didn't really, as long as it didn't taste bad, I was eating it. I didn't have much regard for, is this exceptional or, is this damn good? It was just like, well, this is passable, it's edible, I'm friggin' chowing down on it. And I guess maybe I've got a little bit of bias there, just going off my personal experience and how I was when I was a fat guy, and maybe I just
hopefully I didn't hurt any feelings because I'm a fat person, so I was kind of talking about myself here. But and I've lost 30 pounds in the last few months, but I'm still
good for you, Gizzard.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
I still enjoy some good barbecue, but really, you can smell it in the parking lot. You can smell it a block away from the first place. You can tell it's like, oh my gosh, I got to find this place. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And then you see it. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a hole in the wall. Now, there are some newer buildings, but a lot of times these established restaurants have been around for 60, 70 years or so. They're old buildings. And you go in there and there's a line of people. It's loud because everybody's yelling back and forth in the kitchen, and you will see a brick wall back there with an oven built into it. And they're cooking meat back there. And you pretty much know it's going to be good when you've got that much frantic work going on in the kitchen because they're so busy, because everybody wants to eat there. And that's why you got the line. That's why you got the full parking lot. But they're pretty good at moving you in pretty darn quickly. So if you go in there and you're the only person in the restaurant, it probably ain't any good. That's kind of what I'm thinking. That or you come there about closing time, one or the other. But no, you can smell it. You're just hungry when you're 60 feet from the door just because of the smell and stuff like that. And there's real barbecue and there's fake barbecue around here. I've been to places call themselves barbecue joints. You go in there and they serve you meat. Well, it looks like barbecue, but it don't taste good. It just tastes like warmed up meat with barbecue sauce on it. That's not barbecue. Good barbecue stands on its own, and then the sauce is served off to the side. You either put sauce on or you don't, but they don't put it on there as a rule. It's off on a side table. Here's your sauce if you want some, And they might have 2 kinds, regular and a spicy or something like that. And you might put a little bit off to the side of your plate just to dip in, but you're going to try it without first. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be pretty good without sauce.
Indeed.
That's good barbecue.
Years ago, I used to, when I did my pulled pork, I would just sauce the whole thing. And I stopped doing that when I started catering because I was like, man, this is expensive with all this sauce. And, there's people that are asking for more sauce, and I was getting people that are like, oh, there's too much sauce. I'm like, I was like, frick. I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'll just stop putting sauce on the whole thing. And because my pulled pork was good enough to stand alone, but just, growing pains, learning curves, things like that, typically people want barbecue with sauce. So that's what I would do. And like I said, so when I started doing the catering thing, I was like, after getting those feedbacks and things, I was like, I'll just serve it without. People that want it can add it. If they want a shit ton, they can add a shit ton. People that don't want it, boom, they got it. Problem solved. And after doing that, I realized, one, just how much I was saving on sauce, which is a huge thing. But you're spot on, Gizzard. Barbecue, if it's good, if the meat's good, it should be able to stand on its own. The sauce is only there to complement.
Absolutely.
Now, I will, if I do ribs for an event or something, I'll ask the people, hey, how do you want these? Do you want half of them naked, half of them sauced, what? And they're like, oh, we want them all sauced. I'm like, well, what if you got somebody there that doesn't like sauce? And they're like, oh, we didn't think about that. I was like, exactly. I was like, but some people do like that, that tackiness and everything else. and you're only going to achieve that by putting the sauce on the smoker and letting it tack up. So that's one of those drawbacks sometimes, is when you do want that tackiness, and it doesn't necessarily have to be with ribs. You know, it can be chicken too. I used to love getting KFC's barbecue chicken because it was so sticky. I mean, you could friggin' scrape your finger against your teeth and you still have barbecue sauce stuck on your finger. So there's a give and take there, but overall, I usually don't add sauce to anything now. Armament and axes out there. Evening, sir. G23. So it looks like we might have some people flooded in now. Perhaps G23's done corking me. I don't know if he was actually corking me or not, but it sounded good.
I'll bet you some of these guys eat barbecue. All I know is when I go to the chain places, 9 times out of 10, I'm disappointed.
That's the truth.
Mm-hmm. So, as far as your big name restaurants, I'm sure you don't have any down where you are in Gizzard. It's called Haas's. We have it up here. Moo or TPC, I don't know if you guys have them in Michigan or not. But, you know, just your chain restaurants like that, perhaps Outback or Chili's. Fuck Chili's. Goddamn baby back rib bullshit. Ask me how I feel about Chili's and baby back ribs.
Fat bastard.
But yeah, so you know, as far as chain restaurants and things like that go, is there any places where you guys have gone and been like, man, this is actually good barbecue for what this restaurant is? And if so, what did you have there?
Nope.
You mean a place that is not normally what you'd call a barbecue restaurant?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, what was that? KFC had this. What was that that Nashville hot chicken, which was actually pretty darn good. And I wasn't expecting greatness out of this, but like, you know what? This is pretty tasty.
I never had that one.
And it's hot too.
Let's say one place that always surprises me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Gizzard.
I was gonna say it comes with a pickle. Just for some reason, there's like one slice of pickle in there. I guess that's tradition that you serve it with one slice of pickle in there.
Interesting.
But it's good though.
So the one place that always seems to surprise me when I get this is Applebee's, and it's their ribs. And say, now, with that being said, I am not a fan of Applebee's. I know a lot of people that just rave over it. They're like, this is incredible. I'm like, this tastes like shit. Yeah. If I go to Applebee's, I order an appetizer for my meal, because I think that's got the most flavor out of anything there. But when I go to Applebee's and if I get the ribs, I am usually pleasantly surprised. They're not fall off the bone, you know, so I don't have to worry about mush or anything. But I still get a nice bite with them. They've got a good flavor. Now, like I said, with that being said, is it great? By no means. But if it was that or nothing, I would take the ribs.
I mean, they're better than most of the stuff on their menu. Let's put it that way.
Yes, exactly.
But,
Well, I'll put it this way. My wife loves Applebee's. My wife will not go to Applebee's with me. So.
I was about to say, but what's TPC think about Applebee's?
My wife doesn't like going to any restaurant with me. So, in 20 years, she's had very few And I think she would say she's had very few very pleasant experiences at restaurants with me. So.
Well, that's the curse of having that knowledge, right?
Yeah, it's funny because my wife, when she goes to restaurants now, her usual first response, like when she goes with her friends and that, is she'll say, "It was good, but it wasn't as good as yours."
Good
I'm
answer.
like, now you know why I don't go to restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are restaurants I'll go to because they do things I can't do. Chinese restaurants. And granted, it's not real Chinese food. One of my best friends is Chinese, and I've had real Chinese food with him, and I don't like it. So they eat some really weird stuff. But very spicy stuff, too. I mean, I like spicy to a point. But yeah, there are restaurants I'll go to that, they do stuff I can't cook, but like my wife, she used to rave. We have this place here in town called Martelli's, and she would rave about their chicken marsala. And I wouldn't make, 20 years we've been married, I wouldn't make chicken or veal marsala for I wouldn't make chicken piccata, anything standard Italian, because her being from the East Coast, she has a very specific idea of what it's supposed to be. So, I wouldn't make it. And last year, on her birthday, instead of doing the usual cheesesteaks that I normally make for her, she wanted chicken marsala. And I said, well, why don't we, order out from Martelli's so you can get what you like? And she's like, no, I want you to make it. Okay. I said, I'm going to take you to a world you've never been to before. And, I even did a video on it, just to, to give an idea. My wife was so floored. She won't go and eat chicken marsala anywhere anymore.
I told you so.
I warned her, and I mean, I spent, a decent amount on the marsala wine. I got like a $15, $17 bottle of marsala wine. I got a good bottle of marsala wine for it, and, made sure I made it like we did in the restaurant. And yeah, she won't order chicken marsala anymore, and she will complain frequently. You've ruined that for me. I'm like, there's a reason why I don't cook you things. She goes out with her friends. There's things she really likes to have. And, I just, that's, why I don't go to restaurants with her. We go to Applebee's, and I don't say anything at Applebee's, because I'm not going to, embarrass her. I embarrass her enough at other places like Home Depot. So, but, we go to Applebee's, and, there's just nothing on their menu I like, and my wife she's big into stuff like chicken fingers, and, she just loves that type of stuff. And I absolutely despise it. So
I was just going to ask you, what do you order at Applebee's?
I used to like their riblets when they used to get in what were called Danish riblets. And when I was delivering meat, I used to deliver the riblets to them that they would get. Of course, the company I worked for, I could buy them also, and I'd bring them home and cook them myself. Mm-hmm. But now, instead of riblets, they do what are called rib tips. And rib tips are mostly gristle. Riblets used to be, they were like 90% meat, and they just had these little wing bones in them. And they were fantastic because it was all meat, and it's restaurant barbecue, so you know what you're going to get. It's cooked in an oven, glazed with sauce, that put back in the oven to put a little bit of drying or setting on the sauce, and that's served. But at least the sauce was good, the meat was good, so that's what I would order. Now I go there with her, and I can't order anything. I don't even like their hamburgers there. So, it's like I'll order like a basket of fries or something. So we don't go there. We don't really go out, for meals that much. Every once in a while, she gets gift cards through the company she works for like was it the Lone Star Steakhouse or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I can order from there because they have a bacon cheddar burger that's really good. So and if I'm getting it for free, I'll take it. I'm not going to pay their $12-13 for it that they charge, but if it's coming for free on a gift card, I'm good with it. Anything gets me out of cooking, I'm good with.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I had a buddy who would go to the one barbecue restaurant here, and he was like, "This is incredible." I was like, "It's shit." He was like, "Oh, you know what you're talking about." I was like, "I know exactly what I'm talking about. It's shit." But he'd never had my barbecue, and he's a fellow truck driver, and he got a lane where he's going down to North Carolina, South Carolina a lot. And he met, I think his dad lives in North Carolina. Either way, they ended up meeting at a barbecue restaurant just to, shoot the shit when he had some time to kill the one day. And he's like, "You're right, that restaurant is trash." He's like, "I had real barbecue down south. It's fucking incredible." I was like, "I told you." I was like, "Now you need to have mine." He's like, "No, I'm only getting barbecue from the south now." I was like, "Well, then you're going to be really friggin' hungry when you want barbecue up here." I was like, "Shut up, try mine." And so he finally tried mine. And he's like, "Okay." He's like, "Whenever I want barbecue and I can't be down south, you make my barbecue." I was like, "Fair enough." Let's say I've had my mom a couple times now.
What?
Huh?
No.
A couple times her company that she works for has ordered a couple different barbecue places now to cater. I don't know why they change the barbecue place each year, but every time I get a phone call, she's like, "God damn you." I was like, "What?" She's like, "They ordered barbecue again this year." I'm like, "Yeah, how was it?" She's like, "I hate you." I was like, "Why?" I was like, I'm your firstborn. You're supposed to love me the most." She's like, "You ruined me. I can't have barbecue anywhere else." I was like, "Good. Tell them to hire me." I have yet to get a phone call, so they can pound sand.
When you were talking about Applebee's, I don't know how it reminded me of this story, but when I was in formal training, when I worked for GE, they put me up in Extended Stay America in Rochester, New York, right by the Cloverleaf from like two major highways, and the only restaurant nearby. I didn't have a car, so I had to walk. I had to cross like 8 lanes of traffic to get to an Outback Steakhouse. So I ate there for 2 weeks straight. Dude, I have not been back to an Outback since then.
Oh, you poor thing.
Oh, I mean, after a few days, you don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know, man. Every steak I got, every steak that they had, and they all tasted the same.
Yeah, because they use the same seasoning.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
When I was on the road I was working for a company called Harold Ives out of North Little Rock, Arkansas, And this was back in the mid late 90s, and Outback was still a new thing. And they had one there in Little Rock on Scott Hamilton Boulevard there, and we went there one time, and I mean, it was absolutely fantastic. And I used to get what they used to have a thing called the Rockhampton ribeye, and it was it was very good. But like you said, after you eat there a few times, it's like they all taste the same because they all use the same seasoning. And I got to the point with that I couldn't eat it anymore. Yeah. The exact same thing. And it was a real treat the first time I went there. But 4 or 5 times in, it became okay.
Oh, it says it's still. I just Googled Outback Steakhouse, Rochester, New York, and it's still there.
Yeah, the one here in Kalamazoo, it closed. I mean, it used to be literally one of the busiest places in Kalamazoo. I mean, there was always a line, especially on weekends. And a few years back, we went there. My wife wanted prime rib, and I didn't have a standing rib roast or anything available, so we were going to Outback, and we went to Outback, and literally we got prime rib that had been reheated in a microwave.
No.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking prime rib that came out that was gray.
Wow.
And it's like, okay, I mean, we were very, very pissed off, should we say. And and we never went back. And it's actually next to a hot dog place that's been there for 60, 70 years. Drive-in place used to be an A&W root beer stand before A&W pulled out. And, it just just stayed the root beer stand. And and wife and I went in there because they're getting ready to close for the season, and Outback was all boarded up, and something called the Krabby Crab or Crafty Crab or something like that.
The Krusty Krab went in there?
I don't know, something like that.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it's not in there yet, but it's coming soon.
We got that same one coming up here. They're taking over the Logan's that shut down.
Yep.
King Crab with a K. King Crab.
Yeah, this is like the Crafty Crab or like Krusty Krab or whatever it is. I don't know, but they opened up a crab place up on the north side of Kalamazoo on Gull Road, and let's just say it hasn't fared well. And I don't think this place is going to fare well either because their prices are just stupid. I mean, I've seen one of their menus online already. And Kalamazoo's got a pretty good yuppie population, especially with all the Pfizer employees. And, of course, we're making the jab here. So, it's, we've got a lot of upwardly mobile people with a lot of disposable income. But, the restaurants that have these menus where everything on the menu is like $20 and up, they don't fare well in this town. And this crab place that's going in where Outback is, their cheapest meal on their menu that I saw was like $15.99. And everything was up to as high as they had this it was a seafood sampler platter. Something like $39.99. And I'm like, you guys are not going to make it in this town because that's not what survives in this town.
And King Crab Cajun seafood. That's what we're getting up here.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know what the one we're getting down here is, but it's like I said, it's crafty crab or crusty crab or something like that. It's just it's not going to survive. And I mean, if they were in downtown Kalamazoo, where all the yuppies and foodies go, they'd have a better chance. But they're just on the edge of Portage, the town that I live in, and we're just it's not the type of town that supports stuff like that. I mean, this town is chain food hell. I mean, every freaking chain in the world is here. Or at least it seems to be. So, I mean,
Those
just
college kids lead anything.
They will.
well, yeah, that's over on the on the west side, Western Michigan, and yeah. Trust me, the food over there ain't. They used to have a great place over there, just off campus called the Great Lakes Shipping Company, and it was a steak and seafood place. It was a little pricey, not real pricey, but it was higher end, and even as good as their food was, they didn't last because college kids aren't going to go there, and of course, the more they built apartments in that area, the more the standard of living in that area went down. And if it wasn't, pizza, fried chicken, or burgers, nobody was going. So, that's what sells over on campus. So, they've got one Asian food place called Campus Walk over there, and they barely survive. I know the owner of that place, and he keeps saying he wants to move it, but he never does. So, he's got 4 or 5 Asian restaurants here in town, and the one there on campus just does not do real well. They don't have enough of an Asian population to support it. So, but yeah, it's like you were saying about Outback. Outback is just terrible after you have it a few too many times.
So we've got Blitz and AAF out there. I'd also like to say that I dropped a poll out there, so please go vote in it. I'm anxious to see what you guys
back
vote.
on.
Pretty big poll.
Oh, okay. Then you do have your pants on. It's prosthetic.
Prosthetic or not, still big. Named it Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan, your legs.
Oh, so you got half of it cut off.
You ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
Hey, he had to become tripod somehow.
At the end of the movie, he's got 2 titanium legs.
Yep.
So, with all that being said, before we continue with this awesome topic, I still got a comment up there from Blitz, so sorry about that.
Patriot in the Dark just showed up.
Evening, Patriot. But yeah, I think I mentioned Blitz and AAF. But I've got to do a screen share real quick because we have a slot to give away.
Goddamn hands off me!
What's going on, Ike? But yeah, we got a slot to give away for the end of the month barbecue giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
So, there we go.
I used that brisket slicer, by the way, on that tri-tip tonight.
How was that?
Everybody was like, it goes through there so easy.
But yes, it does.
I was like, look how smooth this goes.
So we got 19 people out there right now, it says, or entered. You know what? We got Gizzard in here. Gizzard, tell me when.
Say when. He's on mute if he's talking.
Hold on. Just a doggone minute. I was sitting here humming and hawing and nobody could hear me. Okay, do it.
Do it.
Do it now.
Do it now. Gizzard Gary. No.
Oh, PNW Woods. Wins.
Again?
I say, I don't know if he got a slot in this month or not. I say, if so, let's see here. Yeah, no, that was last month. He was the last entry for last month and still lost. This month so far we have M. Gabriel, Gizzard Gary, and now PNW Woods. And I believe we got we've got one more entry next week. And then the week after that, we have the giveaway.
Nice.
For October.
Rob said the poll or the drawing was rigged before it was even done.
That's right. Indeed it was.
Oh, you're being quirked by Daddy Dutch.
That son of a gun. He could have been in here trying to win stuff, but nope. Instead, he's quirking me.
Or maybe it's a question. Let me go over and see what it was.
What is he out in the crowd?
Oh, no, he just went live.
Ah. Jeez, I get no respect.
Well, at least you don't have Night Strike working, yeah.
So what, that cost you like 3 viewers last night?
You did. I tell you what, man.
Oh, you telling me somebody actually went to Night Strikes to watch?
Well, there's Night Strike, probably AWAG, and
Pretty sure Artisan Tony was in there.
Artisan Tony probably.
Don't forget
probably-
Travis P11.
Warsaw Patriot.
Yeah, I think you're right. You got the 4.
Oh, good. Somebody's got to get Night Strike to shave his beard again so he can go back on that Family Guy show.
So we've got 8 votes in the poll right now, and you folks have voted appropriately. I'm very proud of you. Good job. We're going to leave this up until... what's the best root beer? A&W, Barks, Sam's Club root beer, or Mug? Right now, A&W root beer is winning with, looks like 62% of the vote, and then Barks coming in second with 38%. Both Sam's Club and Mug have 0 votes. Although, I would say Sam's Club does not have a bad root beer.
Sam's Choice root beer is really good.
Yeah, it's pretty darn good stuff. I wouldn't put it against A&W, but I think Sam's Club at least deserves a couple of votes. Mug sucks.
I can get 3 bottles of Sam's Choice root beer for the cost of 1 bottle of A&W. So yeah, I'll take Sam's Choice any day of the week. So.
Oh yeah, when you're talking about price, yeah, you got to factor that in for sure. But if it's just a single blind or a double blind study where it's like which one tastes best, you're gonna choose. You should be choosing A&W every time.
Actually,
Barks.
I'd probably be choosing Barks. I like Barks root beer.
I like
too.
I do like Barks because it has bite, but I don't know. I'm an A&W guy over Barks, but Barks runs a close second.
I'll tell you what. If A&W in the plastic bottle tasted as good as A&W in the actual A&W root beer stand did, yeah, I'd be all over it. But the A&W in the root beer stands is so much better than what they serve or sell in the bottle.
Sure.
So.
I mean, any soda that's fountain is millions of times better than out of a bottle.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but my mom used to work in a drugstore, and they used to serve the root beer in those mugs. They'd have them chilled.
Mm-hmm.
Frosted mug.
Oh
Yep.
my God, it was to die for.
Well, speaking of the last time I actually had A&W in an A&W root beer stand or A&W root beer restaurant was in Gizzard Gary's home state. It was actually in Manhattan, Kansas.
Ah,
And I was at the truck stop. There's a truck stop in Manhattan, Kansas. I want to say it's like an Arco AM PM truck stop or something like that. And they had an A&W restaurant inside the truck stop, and that root beer was so good. Oh my God, was that good?
so we call that the Little Apple here in Kansas, Manhattan, Kansas,
Yep,
home of Kansas State University.
that it is.
Reminds me when I was a kid, I grew up in a little town, 2,000 people. We did have an A&W, and my grandpa and we'd go up there and get the gallon jug of root beer and go home and make root beer floats.
Yep, absolutely.
I always thought it was funny. He'd buy it, it was like in a milk jug,
Yep, yeah, that's what.
Yeah, it was good.
They still do that at the root beer stand here in town, but unfortunately they won't listen and turn their carbonation up at all. So by the time you get it home, it's always flat.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
So, Moo, you haven't answered the question yet. What are you looking for when you head into a barbecue restaurant?
I don't go to barbecue restaurants.
Moo's like, fuck that. I make my own barbecue.
Moo's looking for a lady in a dress on a little three-legged stool. He wants to get his udder pulled.
He's looking for Night Strike?
Blue dress.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. One of our previous chats, TPC was talking about this barbecue chain, and I'm like, I've never heard of them. And I looked them up online, and there was one right down the street from me.
Yeah, Dickies. That was freaking hilarious.
Yeah, so I don't know why.
Dickies, where they dick around.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't.
I actually told my wife about that, and she was cracking up about that.
A barbecue guy doesn't never been to a barbecue restaurant.
Yeah, it's a quarter mile down the road from his house.
So there's one other thing. After I get in there, and because one of the things I did mention is you could also mention once your food's plated and served you, all that is just how the meat looks, which we've already touched on this kind of mentioned.
Goddamn hands off me!
There's like again. I should really put that on vibrate, shouldn't I? Good golly. There. It's on vibrate now, so sorry about that. Anyways, like I said, we already touched on this briefly, and that's, is the meat gray and dingy, looks like it's been reheated or any crap like that, or does it look fresh? Is it got a good color, and if it has sauce on it, is the sauce there nice and light, or it's going to be complimentary, or do they cake it in sauce because they're trying to hide the meat and just let you taste sauce? So a couple things like that I like to try and pay attention to.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I won't eat at any barbecue place that already pre-barbecues their meat, puts sauce on it. That just, I'm not a fan of that. So,
like I said, there's times where I want that, that tackiness and stuff. I don't know why that is. I there's just times where I do, and yeah, so that's why I would order pre-sauced, but that's few and far between.
yeah, I can see that. If you're going to a place for like ribs, and that's the way they serve them. But
well, even still, most of the time I just rather get them unsauced, but like we've talked about so many times with barbecue, it's not just taste. It's how's it look? So you got the sight, you got taste, you got smell, you got feel with the texture and whatnot. And with the texture, another thing could be that tackiness of that barbecue sauce, I suppose. So, like I said, it's not something I look for or I order too often, but every once in a while, I just feel in the mood for it, I guess. I guess, you know what? If you order a steak that comes out on one of the hot skillets, you could even be listening to it, and then you cover all 5 senses. Because that thing would be still sizzling when they bring it out.
Have you guys ever been to, what is it, Sticky Fingers barbecue joint?
Never heard of it.
My dad always talks about it. He used to go down to Gulf Shores, Alabama in the winter with Mom, and he always just raved about it. But he's one of those that it's fall off the bone.
Oh, yeah. Which, I mean, well, heck, we've talked about it so many times. If that's how you like it, that's how you like it. That's fine.
I get it.
But I will argue anybody until I'm blue in the face and passed out that is overdone.
Oh,
yeah.
And he raves about Hickory House too. I don't know if you ever heard of the Hickory House.
Mm-mm.
No, I've seen Sticky Fingers before, but never heard of Hickory House.
Hey guys, I will be right back. I'm going to leave Gizzard in charge because he's the oldest.
All right.
Let's see some ID.
All right. What kind of mischief can I get us into now?
It's that time of the night.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It's time for the Guns and Barbecue giveaway. We're going to give away a panelist this evening.
Rick.
This week, we're giving away 2 live Moo.
He's wearing his best barbecue clothing. It smells like apple wood.
Apple's a fine choice.
Yeah. That's my go-to for everything anymore.
I've got 3, and it's apple, cherry, and pecan. So I've got a.
Mesquite anymore?
What's that?
Nobody does mesquite anymore.
Mesquite's too acrid for me. I mean, it's just
Hickory and mesquite it's too much for me. Both of those, yeah.
Yeah, hickory and mesquite. I like to, when once you've got your firebox going, maybe throw 1 piece in with whatever you're using. Just to get that tinge of flavor in there. But man, I cannot go like all hickory or all mesquite. I mean, I can't even go all oak. I like pecan, I like cherry, I like apple. I'd like to get some of that Georgia peachwood.
Yeah.
And try that out, but that's hard to come by. And I've got 5-gallon pails, with my pits. One is full of apple, one's full of cherry, and one's full of pecan. So it's not like I'm ever hurting for for having any kind of wood, and God knows if I need it, especially extra cherry, I can go right into my shop and just cut a stick of cherry up in a heartbeat. So
where's my shirt?
Let's go, Brandon.
F. Joe Biden. Oh man, speaking of which, Grill Sergeant's chat last night. somebody had posted. Oh, Castle Hives. He's a beekeeper from Ohio. Had posted "Let's Go Brandon" in there, and this guy, Big Wedgie or something like that, said, you keep the politics out of the chat. I sat there and said, obviously there is somebody in here that voted for that idiot.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he got all pissed off.
Oops. Busted.
It's just I see people that support that guy, and it's just like, how can you? I mean, you just look at the prices of everything. I mean, I remember getting into an argument with Ghost about it. It's like, Ghost, told you, well, you have no right to low fuel prices. It's like, you're right. I don't have a right to it, but it's good for our economy.
Yes,
And
it is.
that's like, I mean, look at food prices. Look at inflation. They're sitting there saying, and I hate turning this into a political thing, but they're sitting there. All the mainstream media is out there. Oh, it's the supply chain problems are because of the pandemic. Really? We went through a year of the pandemic under Trump, and we never had any supply chain issues. Our gas prices were $1.89 until a month after Biden came into office. Please don't give me that garbage. It's just all the excuses people make. It just drives me absolutely berserk.
The cost of transportation leads to a change in cost for everything else because everything has to be transported.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, look at our meat prices. A guy commented on my brisket video 2 or 3 days ago, and he said, $48 for a prime brisket. Where on earth did you get that? I said, I got that at Sam's Club. I said, I believe that was back in April before the prices of beef started going through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I was wondering. He's like, man, I can't find a brisket under $100 these days for prime. I'm like, yeah, same here. I said, that's why I haven't done any more brisket videos lately. I said, I'm not going to pay $80 or $100 for a brisket.
That really kills the barbecue places up in Kansas City because that's like a delicacy around here is brisket. So,
Oh yeah, it's like was it? I'm trying to think of the big one up in Amarillo. I think it's called Eva's. They actually had, for the first time in like 5 years, they had to raise the price of their brisket per pound at their restaurant because brisket prices had gone up so much. They had to raise it up like I think almost $5 a pound to buy brisket. And I mean they're already selling it at $20 a pound. It's now up to like $25 a pound there. So
it's like the gun snob says, meat prices may be up, but cattle prices are still in the crapper. Yeah, that the producers, people who raise cattle aren't making the money. That's for sure.
Yep, and the guys hauling it aren't making the money either. Because I know, I've got a bunch of friends that are bull haulers, and they're not making any more. They're barely making enough to make the added fuel surcharge that they have to add to their hauling prices now. So.
So Gunsnbbq says, we raise organic, hormone-free, grain-fed cattle, and they always bring a premium, and we are getting way less ahead than any time in the last 10 years. And feed continues to rise.
I think only the hookers downtown are getting more per head than cattle people are. So.
Wow. Yeah, we've really elevated this chat quite a bit in the last 5 minutes, haven't we?
Sometimes you just gotta.
Pat Hirsch wants a link. I don't know if I'm authorized to distribute links or not.
I don't know. I don't see why not. Barbecue left. You're in charge.
Didn't he?
Yes, he
there
did.
you go.
Well,
You have the executive power.
that's true. Well, by the power vested in
Shit,
me,
just put it out in the chat. Let everybody come on in.
Yeah. Look in your email, Pat. There's a link there. Get in here and tell us about cooking the meats.
I haven't watched it yet, TPC, but Henry Sue did the beef tallow injection or something.
Yeah, Harry did the beef tallow and pork lard.
That's right. Yeah, I haven't watched it
yet. Yeah. Harry sent it to me on Instagram. I had to tell him, I'm in Instagram jail. I'll have to watch it on YouTube. All he said was, again?
Of course, I can send people all the links I want to, but they're going to have to wait out in the pre-chat.
All right.
I can't let them in. They're supposed to be testing that feature where you can have a co-host, and I hope they do it pretty soon because they're going to allow for you could have a second person who can.
Yeah, you could like pass the ball over it. Was that on Hangouts where you could do that? Where they had the star up in the corner or something?
Yeah, I think you can do it in what is that thing that Night Strike has? The
Gun Lube?
The death chamber or something like that.
The death chamber. The gas chamber.
The gas chamber. But no, they're supposed to be working on it.
I didn't even know he was still doing that stuff. So
that and buying guns. He bought a dagger, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of people have been buying those things.
Yeah, MK Outdoor Journal said he got one.
Mikey
Kreitzer.
MK. Previously known as Budget Guns and Gear Reviews.
Yep.
And Five and Dime. Yeah.
I haven't bought a new gun in, well, other than my my other Panzer shotgun, over a year. So can't find anything I want.
I just picked up a Shield Plus today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Got to go back tomorrow and get the price adjustment on it. I went to Dunham's because I got their ad emailed to me. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'll go pick it up on Saturday. I go in there and I go up to the front and pay for it. And I'm like, yeah, that's $30 more than the ad said. I got it right here on my phone. And I look at it, it goes, Sunday, Monday sale. Look at the manager, and I'm like, he goes, just bring your receipt in tomorrow. I'll do a price adjustment for you.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to get another MMP 2.0 40 core. I've got one. I really like it. I want another one, but I'm still too cheap to pay the $690 or whatever it is for it. So other than that, though, I want to get a TC Encore in 44 with a 14-inch barrel, but haven't found one of those that I'm willing to pay the price for either. So
I got that CVA Optima 2 and stainless 50 muzzle loader.
Nice.
Yeah, she's a beast.
So he's managed to get 18 votes in this root beer poll, and there's only 10 people watching. So maybe we ran 8 people off in the last few minutes. Hopefully not. I've been trying to make it entertaining for you. M&P Talk, Rob says, now it's getting good. Yeah, as long as we don't talk about Glocks.
Yeah, no Glockadoodle-doos here, so.
It's about the same size as my Glock 43. And it holds 12, 13.
Gunsnub says TPC is almost as tight as Rob. Wow. That's saying something.
Yeah, I'm no Glock fan, never have been, so.
I'm a fan of all kinds of guns. I got Glocks, I got Tauruses, I got SIGs, I got a Smith & Wesson, had a Ruger. They're all good.
Let's see.
Gunsnbbq must have fell in.
Yeah.
He's eating his own barbecue.
That or he ran out of TP, one or the other.
I'm thinking maybe he's shaken it more than once. So
at his age, he should be done by now.
Let's say that took way too long, guys.
he's been alone for a long time. So
you got somebody waiting out in the green room, by the way.
Oh snap! I'm sorry.
I was waiting for the Paul McCartney to come on.
Let's say, no, I went out to get myself a drink. Then the dogs were asking to go out, so I let the dogs out. Then I was like, I haven't seen the friggin' cat all day, so while I was letting the dogs out, because I just let them out on a lead, I went searching for the cat. Cat was shut in the girls' room, where there's no litter box, no food, no water, or anything else. I'm like, that's friggin' great, because I haven't been home since, 2 or 3. And now I'm trying to think about it. Well, no, the girls weren't over here since yesterday evening, so the cat's probably been locked in the kids' room for over 24 hours. Yeah, I'm not happy about that. Then the cat, first place it goes is the water dish. There's no freaking water. I was like, son of a gun. So I have to get all the animals water, all that fun jazz. Now here I am. So other than jokes about me rubbing one out for too long. What's happening? How's it going, Pat?
Okay, well, evidently. I walked into one hell of a chat, and I might want to turn right back around and go right back out the other door.
You never know. You never know.
No. Thanks for having me on tonight. Got done later today. Going to be putting up a short here, just pretty much directly. So y'all get to see that. What
nice.
Me and my identical brother are building in the woods. So we decided to do a little bit of a kind of a homestead kind of a deal back up in the woods. So y'all get to see that here in just a little bit. So a little teaser.
Awesome.
Be on the lookout.
So how y'all doing tonight?
Not too bad.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like I walked in on to a hell of a conversation.
Always.
So.
Yeah, no, but I'm a lot about meat while you were gone.
Yeah, I was watching on that, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I can chime in with some beef. But then I was like, yeah, that might sound bad too. So, haha. I will
Very nice.
here.
With a dry rub.
Pretty much.
Well, if it didn't have any water, it had to be a dry rub.
Yep.
And I don't know if I'm going for a Guinness World Book Records, but I've been on 5 different chats in 5 days this week.
Dang.
So,
Yeah, you got to get your numbers up there. Let's say there was a time where I was jumping on about 22 chats a week,
Lord.
and I didn't have my own chats at the time.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm 5 for 5 on 5 days on chats. So,
Nice.
but no, I always enjoy talking to you guys. Always do.
Oh yeah, it's always a great time, especially with this
And-
crowd.
Had to throw on some retro stuff tonight. So,
Earnhardt.
The Intimidator. Oh,
yep.
no, that's different. Yeah, that's it.
Yep, that's the Intimidator. The Man in Black. The second Man in Black. Not Johnny Cash.
Second best mustache in history.
Yep, pretty
Oh,
much.
Funny thing
Something
was,
else.
he was a really nice guy. So
Yeah.
He was. I listened to, not to throw anybody off subject or anything here, but I listen to a lot of different racing podcasts and stuff. And he might have been kind of rough out on the track, and we can all shake our heads. Yes, he was rough on the track at times, but at the same time, anybody that came up to that guy and needed something, whether it was tires or some chassis parts or something like that, he always either gave it to them or he pointed them in the right direction, who to go ask and stuff. So yeah, he was a hard-nosed racer, no doubt about it. Hard-edged, hard-nosed racer. But at the same time, he could turn around and be your friend, right off the track, drink beer, whatever. From a lot of the guys that I've talked to, I know several of the guys up at Speedway Motors in Lincoln, Nebraska, and back when they used to race pavement quite a bit back in the day. And yeah, they pretty much said you weren't going to find much of a nicer guy off of the track. Now, on the track, yeah, different story. But off the track, pretty good, solid guy. He'd do what he would do what he could for you. So can't fault him for that. So
yeah, when I worked for Harold Ives, we used to deliver both Goodyear and Bridgestone Firestone tires to the tracks. And Earnhardt was always nice to the drivers. He was the guy who was always there signing for the fans. You know, I mean, literally until they weren't around anymore. One of my best friends was a mechanic on Richard Petty's crew for years, and he sat there and he said, yeah, he said, it's funny. He said, nobody likes Earnhardt on the track. He said, but off the track, he's everybody's best friend.
yep. Who is the mechanics on the Petty side over there? Just curious.
My friend Mike Phillips. He was with Petty Racing. He worked for Richard for about 9 years, and then he was the co-lead mechanic for Kyle for 5 years after that. And now he's the head mechanic for Penske, and in Greenville, South Carolina.
Yep.
And he's been with Penske for probably 15, 20 years now there. So man is an absolute master with a wrench.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got the privilege to hear him on one podcast anyway, and yeah, I back in the day I wish he could have turned some wrenches on my frickin' stock car. Put it that way.
Mike used to work on my trucks, so I used to have 3 of them, and he was one of my favorite mechanics on the road. So
yep, that's a good guy right there. I don't care who you are. That's if you want a good solid wrench, that's one of the guys to have in NASCAR for sure.
When you have to rely on your vehicle every day, and you have somebody you can go to who you trust to fix things that need to be fixed and fix it right the first time, that's as good as gold, as far as truck drivers go. So
Yep, I don't doubt it for 2
All right.
seconds. Guy can take a look at an engine and there it is.
Yep.
So we're going to wrap this one up. Moo, anything you want to plug, sir?
Nope, not that comes to mind. Thanks for
Nice.
having another episode of the Moo-B-Q TPC show.
Yes. Yeah, I got to figure out a way to incorporate TPC into all this.
Yeah.
Like when I made the new intro, I told him, I was like, I feel like a dick because, don't have you in there in any way yet. And say, I just haven't thought of a good way of getting them in.
The fat guy from Michigan.
Wait a minute. I hold that title.
Yeah, but you're short. I'm tall.
No.
TBC.
5'8".
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Anything you'd like to plug, sir?
No, I've been cleaning the pits out for the year, and most everything is going to be put up for winter time now. I've actually got a beef vegetable with barley soup video coming out because it's soup time, and people have been asking me to put soup videos up. So I got a soup video coming up sometime this week, probably be up Monday. And I'm still trying to get those last 18 subs to get up to 500 so I can do the knife giveaway. So
Very nice.
other than that, nothing.
Wow.
You and Moo made me think of a way to get you added into the opening role now. And say I think it's going to be good. Gizzard Gary, anything you'd like to plug, sir?
Tomorrow morning, early bird chat. That is at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, and of course every Friday also Foul Territory, 8 p.m. Central. Other than that, don't forget to go to RNL Displays, 25% off all weekend. I dropped the link out there, so go out there and buy a stand, and don't forget to eat a salad too.
Yes, eat a salad, buy a stand.
Eat a
Let's say
salad.
that
Yep.
25% off discount, I believe, is going until sometime tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Very nice. Get 25% off on display stand at rnldisplays.com.
It's
Do
a
it.
great deal.
It is. Pat, anything you'd like to plug, sir?
No, not really. I think I plugged in the last couple of days. Between the short that will be coming up here pretty soon on the cabin in the woods, it just won't be Pat in a bunker. It will be Pat in the woods on a future broadcasting studio. So hopefully that all works out right. So anyway, just wanted to thank you for letting me in. Put in
Absolutely.
my piece, and thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, anytime. And it's a good thing that your parents named you Pat and not Tug, because Tug in the Woods just doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't. a tug in the woods. Yeah, that's. Yeah.
It's a good time, but probably not gonna make for a good episode.
It depends on who's on the receiving end.
Oh, I guess you could do a short.
Well, isn't that what a tug in the woods is? Is a short?
Damn it! I put my in my mouth there, so yeah, foot in mouth. Yep. Probably shouldn't have said much, but anyway. Yeah.
But
the answer. Appreciate it.
yeah, so I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in and joining us. Gonna hit you with America Fuck Yeah before we head out here in the outro. I'd like to remind everybody, though, we do have the Almost Nightly Firearms Expo on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so be sure to check that out at 11 p.m. Eastern. And then you can be back and catch us here at 9:30 or whatever the heck time we end up making it for the barbecue chat next Saturday. So,
America! Fuck yeah! We would like to say thank you to owlandanchor.com for great two-way items like these. Go to owlandanchor.com and place an order today. We'd also like to say thank you to gearwebsites.com. Yet another great two-way website. Go over to gearwebsites.com, pick up more great two-way items as you see here. And as always, please remember, I'm true-ayer than you. Dadgummit, Billy Bob, I told you to stay out of this. Now I don't remember what I was telling the people.